I want to say that to your channel, The Barricade, you invite me to speak something about the perspective of the immigrant worker in the France, and I said about the work which was made by the men. I said about the most of Poles who are in France, they worked in the building industry, or there are truck drivers. But I totally forgotten about the women who are in the emigration, and also women who came from the Eastern countries are very specialized jobs. So they work for the cleanings very often. Very often they work for the babysittings. And also, it is very complicated to say, but in 1990s, in France, we had the word femme de l'Est. Femme de l'Est, it's mean woman who came from the East. It was the synonym of the prostitute who came from the countries like Ukraine, but also Poland, also Bulgaria, also Romania. And in the 1990s, many of the prostitutes who works in the France was from Eastern Europe. And it is the reality of the liberation movement, women liberation in the France, that in one time we have the minister of the Madame Schiappa, who is in the government. She is responsible to the things that the equality entre women and the men, and she said many things. But in the other, we had all this reality which nobody speaks. Nobody speaks about all these women who every day came from Africa or from the other countries and made all these works who before was reserved from the French woman. Now they are all the time reserved for the woman, but not for the French woman, but the woman from the other countries. But all the time it is woman. And this difference under these jobs makes by women and these jobs makes by men is that these jobs makes by men are hard, but it's well paid. This job made by women, cleaning or babysitting, it's hard and it is not well paid. And it is, and also we have all this disrespectful for the liberal elites. I want to say about the example of the Polish journalist, very famous. His name is Kuba Wojewódzki. And he in the live when he was speaking in the radio, he was joking about the Ukrainian robots for cleanings. That in Poland we have a lot of women who clean the houses, and he make jokes about this. That this is not the people, this is not the woman, this is the robot who cleans.
The problem is that, as I see it, and all you said is very sad, and at the same time, it is very infuriating. But you see, we are fed this type of feminism with pearls, glamour feminism, the aesthetics of feminism, and the idea that women have come so far because we are focusing only on the elites, and we ignore the rest, just like Sofia Nadezhda said during the 19th century, because it was even then the same problem. So unfortunately, this is the thing we don't have, and even in Romania. Now the feminist movement has lost the touch with the masses. The feminist movement is for rich, privileged intellectuals in universities and not for the working women, you know. And this was done with the help of the CIA. And I do not say that the CIA is responsible for everything, but they had their role because they had as objective. And I had read recently one chapter in Sarah Miller Harris's book on the CIA and the culture on the Congress for Cultural Freedom, because you know the archives from the CIA are now being made public, and she was able to document a very interesting chapter in the history of the CIA right at the beginning, when one of the proteges of Dulles, the first head of the CIA, came up with the idea that the right-wingers in America are never going to defeat communism, and the ones that the CIA should back and rely on are the centrists and the ones that are anti-Soviets and anti-masses, you know. So they have basically two objectives: to sever the link between intellectuals and the Soviet Union and to make them critical of that, and they perfectly succeeded. And the second one was more important, and we see its effect, its results even today, was the idea that they had to sever the link between the leftists and the working people. That was very important. And to transform, you know, the leftist movement into a women's only movement. You know, they have this idea that only women can talk about women's rights, and we have to self-represent ourselves, and we have to be here alone in our little bubble. Then you have another bubble of anti-racists. Only people of color can discuss anti-racism and racism. Only people of color should be here. So you have another little bubble of leftists and activists, you know. So you had the LGBT community, and then you had the lesbians and the transsexuals and the gay people. And then you have these little bubbles, you know, that are separated. And their main constituency are people that are privileged, and nothing about class. CIA had this particular idea of extracting class from this type of movements, you know, and made them focus only on human rights. And this is the result right now. What we are seeing right now is this focus on individual choice. All you see right now, especially in feminism, is choice. Choice is her choice. She chose, but she chose to become a prostitute. She chose to become a cleaning lady and a robot from Ukraine. It was her decision. If you try to speak against this oppression, you are infantilizing her. You are taking her as a victim. And when you discuss about these women as victims, you pose yourself in a privileged position, and you should give them the possibility to speak. As if Marx, when he discussed about the oppression of workers, he was in a way treating workers as stupid children and disrespect them. Do you understand? You cannot discuss a system of oppression because you are not talking about real persons and women, and you should. And while I completely agree, when you discuss migration, you have to discuss with migrants. When you discuss cleaning ladies going abroad, you have to discuss and to talk to them. Okay, they should not be an abstract category, but at the same time, that should not prevent you from looking at the structural causes that make those women go there. Because while the liberals are entirely right to say that you choose, it is your responsibility, but you choose from the options that the society gives you. You are not choosing in abstract. It is not like I say in the morning, I am a worker, a poor woman from Ukraine, and you sit in the morning and you think to yourself, what should I do today? Should I go to with my yacht in Tenerife, or should I go work as a cleaning lady in France? Oh, why don't I go and work as a cleaning lady in France? Does this seem like a plausible narrative to you? Because it doesn't seem like one to me. I mean, I think she's choosing, but she's choosing from the options that the society gives her, you know. This doesn't say that she's this stupid individual that went there because she was not able to make other choices, but because there were not other options for her, you know, in her country. I mean, she had to choose between starving, option number A, and work as a cleaning lady in France, option number B. You know, it is not like she had this wonderful array of possibilities just standing there in front of her. You